This show is officially brought to you by NRG Tree. Check them out if you want to own your own solar. That's NRG Tree.
At nrgtree.com.
Reality.
UFOs.
Science.
Consciousness.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
That might not be a real thing. The podcast.
I'm the Candyaman, coming at you live with Danny Demonic and Sean Macca.
What's up?
I hope I sound all right.
I'm just tasting the fresh products of one of our sponsors, non-official sponsors, Diet Pepsi.
Oof, they're actually complete opposite of a sponsor because not only do I pay for their products,
Yeah.
but they're probably killing me.
Yeah.
They're decreasing the longevity of the show,
Yeah.
theoretically.
I'm powered by Fairlife Core Power. Sponsored. It's 42 grams of protein, but I add more. So
These are the people
I'm
from,
always on point.
These are the people from your website?
There's no break Sunday night. No, this is just from 7-Eleven, but it's got a lot of protein.
You're on a 7-day-a-week, 365-day a week. You're all go.
Cheat days, cheat meals, not for me. No
Everyone
cheat
has
meals.
their limit.
No, you know why?
You'll crack.
Then you start negotiating with yourself. I don't negotiate with myself. I just do what I
You
gotta
say
do.
no, baby.
I
That's it.
nonstop
There's no
negotiate with myself.
can I have a cookie? Oh, I can have one cookie. One cookie would probably be fine. It probably would be fine. But you know what? I'm not negotiating with myself. There is no.
I'm not a one-cookie
vault.
kind of guy. I am eat the whole bag or zero.
Well, see, that's why I'm gonna get shredded this summer.
I go zero or all.
I negotiate with myself all the time, and myself is fucking like a really good negotiator.
Sinister.
It makes a lot of
Like
sense.
myself could fucking talk people out of like hostage situations and shit.
But wait a minute. Don't you
Like
think?
the negotiator with fucking Kevin Spacey and Samuel L. Jackson.
Before you jump off that roof, blow up that building, do you want to have a Fio's steak and cheese sub? Because it tastes pretty good right before you go out.
Real good.
It's got peppers and onions, motherfucker.
You'll just only eat half.
No onions.
We'll save the other half for somebody else.
Half for tomorrow.
Gone.
Yeah.
Gone. First bite, gone. That's because
Listen.
once you sink your teeth into it, your pleasure response system goes on
Listen,
overload,
this
and you're
is the
no
problem
longer in
right
control.
there. That's what I was just about to say.
Feeding frenzy.
Okay, pleasure. Okay, forget those short-term pleasures.
very
They don't
Buddhist
do you
of
any
you, Dan.
good. Fuck the short-term pleasures. You want long-term pleasures, which are totally different. I'm sorry, but that Twinkie is a short-term pleasure and it feels like shit after. But the long-term is throwing that Twinkie away, eating good, and looking good and feeling good later, and being in better health for your future. That's the long-term.
That's like a 1980s commercial. It felt like I just heard like Ronald Reagan be like, "I'm over here with telling everyone live fast, die young, don't fucking think, just do it." Those were my two primary philosophies growing up.
We were just talking about hair loss, like
Ronald
treatment
Reagan.
in the old, in the hair loss community. Whenever somebody has really good hair genetics, they say he has Ronald Reagan genetics.
Ooh.
Look at those fucking hair genetics.
Look at those roots.
He had a hairline with a widow's peak up to his eyebrows, like a
I'll tell you
12-year-old.
what. I'll tell you what.
That's insane. He's
That
like
runs-
75 years old.
That runs in the Hahn family.
It does.
Those boys have got
Really?
heads of hair that won't quit. And I'm telling you, believe you me, they should isolate that gene.
Yeah, some people just have
and
it.
figure
and you know what's
out
funny is,
how
like
to splice it, because that would be a
yeah, but the
valuable.
genetics are weird though. Reagan's grandfather could have been completely bald. Both of them. It's just really weird. The recessive genes they
Yeah,
skip
but
around.
whatever his mutation is, they should isolate it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 So Reagan genetics. If you ever see somebody with hair like that,
They should feed it in Kellogg's products.
Right.
Everyone would get it, and
Right.
no one would know what was going.
Yeah.
This week we're going to stay on some sort of a track. Okay. Now the topic for the week, and we're going to get into it later, is conflict resolution and a lack of it in our society. Not only on not only on an individual one-on-one basis, but on a country-to-country basis.
you mean like when somebody invades your space, you
I'm
punch
just-
them in the face?
Like, that's one form of conflict resolution,
Yeah.
yes. But we've gone the opposite of that now. People won't even they won't hit each other. They won't even say anything to each other. Just
they're
post something
passive-aggressive.
later they'll post something about it later when they're out of eye contact range and pheromone range,
Yeah.
But anyway, before we get into all that, we'll cut through our normal stuff. I want to give a big shout out to my very good friend, the Moon Man, He took me to see Bruce Springstein and the E Street Band on Monday night at TD Bank in a fucking sweet, sweet box. Anyone recall last week I was like, oh, yeah, I got to slow down with the partying, and I'm going to really straighten myself out this week.
Another pleasure.
I got to get back into working out and focus on my job,
Right.
and et cetera, et cetera. Well, I'll tell you what.
Etc.
I kicked it off hard with a Monday night, getting more drunk than I've ever gotten.
But you negotiated with yourself, right? You said this
No.
one more time, and then next week,
No,
that's it.
no, that wasn't what happened.
No?
Sunday night, I went to bed early, got up Monday, had a very productive day. I was very responsible. I was like, oh, God, I'm going to, I have to go to this concert tonight, which means I'm going to be out late, but not crazy. I'd be home by like midnight, 1 o'clock, something like that. And I was going to like take my kid to school the next morning. And she was like, Dad, do I need to sleep out somewhere? I'm like, nah, I'm not partying hard. I'm like, I'm not, whatever. I'll be home. Well, I'll tell you what, I hadn't seen my buddy in a while. We went to Bruce Springsteen. I was feeling good. Everyone was having a good time.
You were in like a box, right?
Yeah, we were in this place. And I was like, in the words of Frank the Tank, I'll do one. I was like,
We'll do one.
I'll have one. It wasn't a brewski. I had a fucking scotch on the rocks, okay?
yeah. Oh, boy.
Now, I do not drink maybe 2-3 times a year, and I'll have 1 or 2 beers or 3 beers, and I am gonzo.
Yeah. Did you wear your bell bottoms?
No, it was too early for it, I felt like, and I immediately regretted it once we got there. I was like, I might have cried about it like 8 to 16 times. I was like, God, this is so perfect for my bell bottoms. I was saying it to the 70-year-old lady next to me like 3-4 times. She
Right.
couldn't even hear me. She was just dancing
Sang all
and
the
shaking her head.
classics. Oh,
Yeah,
live a
Bruce-
Good die
Oh,
young.
okay, come on now. That's Billy Joel.
Oh, shit.
I don't know if you were taking
I
a
don't-
piss on
no,
me.
I
or
really
if you
don't
were-
know.
or if you
Take
were-
I don't like
I
Bruce Springsteen that
my
much.
my worst fear was that
That's
you
really
were
not Bruce
actually
Springsteen?
saying that and you didn't know.
No, I didn't know.
But anyway, I had one whiskey, and then after that, within the
Born
span
in
of
the USA.
yes, within the span of the concert, which is like 2.5 hours max, I probably put like 10 to 12 shots of alcohol into my system
Yeah.
of whiskey.
See, you know why they call that intoxication?
Bro, I was gone.
Because it's toxic.
I was toxic. Let me tell you something, bro. I was blacked out drunk. Okay, now
Get home.
Well, we
I had
received
to
a
sleep-
video.
I had to sleep it off for a while, right? And by sleep it off, I meant like throw up for a while until I was sober enough to move. We Ubered, okay,
from
yeah, but Akira's like getting up for school in the morning. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm puking my brains out
Yeah.
in the bathroom. I threw up all over the house, like
Toxic.
every room in the house. The closest thing I could. I've never been poisoned to death, but I was like, this feels like somebody poisoned me and I'm dying. And Tuesday, never mind work or the gym or anything like that, Tuesday can only be described as a day of pure, intense, unadulterated suffering.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep. I couldn't move. I couldn't play video games. I couldn't watch TV. All I could do was just curl up, puke,
I've done it before. It's
get in the
hell.
shower, rinse off, curl up, puke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been like withdrawal, but I only had to deal with it for a day, but it was awful. And
One day, that's pretty good.
and well, that was the
It was
that
your
was
body
the
telling
suffering.
you that you intoxicated.
Yeah, the suffering was one day.
Yeah.
And then the next day was like not very productive at all. I was in a fog. I feared that I'd permanently given myself brain damage. But then I've come out of it slowly over the course of the week.
Yeah, you come out of it.
But like Wednesday, I was like transitioning into like a little bit of like a sickness, like I had a cold, and I had like a little cold this week, and but I didn't really know I was getting sick because I was so ill from the poisoning that like I transitioned into sickness right out of the hangover, and I was like, God, am I still hungover? I'm like, no, this is different. This is sick. I had like body aches and shit, but like it could have just been malnutrition and lack of sleep from 2 days of puking and whatever. I'll tell you something funny to balance that off, though, before I get into the Bruce Springsteen thing. Okay, just side story. We were talking about that horrible idea of semen retention a couple weeks ago, right? Where people are voluntarily doing this to themselves. I don't think I could do it if I tried, and I'll tell you why. My body would just shoot it out on its own.
In my sleep.
Yeah, 100%. And the only time I've ever really had wet dreams in my life have been like some sort of involuntary semen retention. And this week, I had involuntary semen retention. I was too beat up, too tired, too sick to jerk off. Definitely couldn't have sex. I mean, maybe I could have just like laid there and someone could have done it, but I was in no shape to have sex.
As bad as you feel, your pee-pee would have felt good.
So I was hoping maybe release some some hormones in me, like pleasure response stuff.
Yeah,
or
even on
chemicals.
the worst opiate withdrawals, you can get off like 5 times in a row. It's like the silver lining.
Well, this is what happened. I didn't have my kid last night, and I was like, oh man, I was like, I'm gonna rub one out. This is gonna be great. There's nothing better than rubbing one out when no one's home. It's a relaxational state you can't achieve when anyone else is in the house.
Right.
That's all there is to it. So I'm doing my thing. I'm fucking getting my windows all opened up for what I'm gonna jerk off to on the internet, right?
Oh yeah,
I'm getting all prepped, everything. My dick's like, oh yeah, we're about to have sex with the computer. I've done this before, so it's getting hard, right? It might have lasted 15 to 20 seconds before just full eruption. Just my balls emptied themselves out of me. Like I was the 2-pump chump of jerking off. Like if that's a thing, I did it. It was like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I jerked off for 10 seconds, and I was like, oh, too late. I'm gonna blow it.
I'm gonna blow it. Adam Sandler.
Yeah, Adam Sandler. But man,
Like,
I was like, holy, shoot
it all over me. All right.
Holy shit, though, dude. Like, I was like, wow. I was like, semen retention? I was like, that's not even a real thing. These guys are just blowing smoke.
I will blow my
I was
load
like,
in my dreams.
Yes. Yes.
Like lately, like I can't even go like a
100%.
day or two. Like it needs to happen. Now
My
I just
threshold's
I wake
apparently
up having
5 to
sex
6
now.
days.
I just wake up having sex.
Yeah, that happened
Like,
to Dan this week.
How the fuck did this happen?
Did he inform you of that? He informed me of it. He woke up humping.
like an animal.
It's like, baby, wake up.
Oh, I didn't do that.
We're naked and we're humping sexy.
Yeah. No, you know what I do? She doesn't come to bed right away, so I'll just, especially when the kids are gone, I'll just go to bed naked.
You're not a big Will Ferrell fan, huh?
Nah, he's all right. Yeah, I like him. I'm not like a huge fan. But
Did you see Jackie Moon?
I don't quote him.
Did you see Semi-Pro Jackie Moon?
No, I haven't seen that, no.
All right, so the theme song for that movie that they made for it's called Love Me Sexy. And Will Ferrell's singing the lyrics, right? And one of the lyrics just goes like this. He's like, baby, wake up. We're naked and we're humping sexy. Yeah. For the last 15 minutes, that's what's been going on. Too late now. Like, that's what happened to you last night.
Yeah.
But that's like an appalling thing. He's basically like begging somebody who's asleep.
No, that's my wife, so.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
She signed up for that.
If she really wanted to, she could like push me off.
No,
or
right,
punch me in
right.
the ball.
Yeah, no, she's a fighter. She could,
Yeah.
she could
Yeah.
100% repel your
She's into it.
She's
assault.
into it, yeah.
All right, to answer your question,
But I
Bruce-
mean, I wonder what my face looks like though when I first start because she's awake and I'm just like, fucking.
We received a video.
What do you mean?
Do we want to?
Who did? We did?
no,
You didn't hear it?
No.
Listen. When I tell you that this was despicable drunk, I'm talking like a white girl college weekend.
Oh, from
drunk
him? We
for
got a
the-
video from him?
drunk for the first time away from home. Like that's what happened to me on Monday night. It was I was bad.
Play it after.
I'll show it to you.
I might have
offsite.
saw a video actually.
I have it right here.
I was
right
cursing.
Press play.
I was cursing. Dude, go ahead. I let it out. I don't care how fucking cursing people.
All right,
out.
we'll edit it out.
This guy's brother, my brother, Josh, everybody.
Oh, I think I saw that actually. Yeah.
Nick Noonan's brother.
Is what humanity could be if we stop blowing ourselves up with nuclear weapons. If
When are we
Bruce
doing that?
Springstein and the E Street Band singing "Dancing in the Dark,"
And
in front of
everybody
1,000
agrees.
million people,
1,000 million people
and
for sure.
Everybody agrees that this is right. Right? Noonan, you can't stop my Susie. Get on camera. You can't.
Get on camera, Susie.
We're watching Bruce Springstein.
I thought that was him.
And Nick Dean.
Listen to that
Well, I'm
cackle.
gonna say fuck you, but I hope you take a shit in your own pants. Pat Noonan, go to holy hell.
I mean,
That's
You're in rare form there.
That's unprecedented.
that's unprecedented.
Nobody's seen me like that.
I haven't
in
seen
2
that in a
decades.
long
Yeah.
time.
Like that's some. Sick.
I think the last time
I was probably 19 last time I was that drunk.
No, I think
No,
it
you were
was
drunk.
you were in your 20s and you were dropping me off at my house at 3:30 in the morning, and you were like, "Mrs. McCarthy, Sean's drunk."
I was trying to explain to Akira. I was
Like,
like,
great. We might have to edit that part out.
She saw the video.
Doxing.
I showed the video, and she was
No,
like,
nobody cares.
she's like, Dad, you're a white girl drunk. And I was like, is this a term?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah. And
You were. Yeah.
I was like, I behaved in that fashion several nights a week for like age 19 to 23, 24 maybe tops, right?
Yeah.
But like, give me a break, bro. That's poisoning yourself.
That's poisoning yourself.
Never mind the behavior. Like the fact that substance is running around in mass society and that's what we've been like, oh yeah, my husband
what?
came home drunk and beat the shit out of me. Yeah, no kidding. He was blacked out drunk. Didn't know what the hell was going on.
We talk about PEDs, like, oh, what do you do? What are you going to do? Blah, blah, blah. And then like, oh no, it's okay. He just got totally shit-faced, intoxicated with a fucking poison drink.
Time out. What's a PED?
Performance-enhancing drug.
Sorry.
Which is like not going to make you fucking do shit like that or
Like the
puke
hung
for
guys,
2
fun
days.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, but like we got these weird like things, taboos in society that we like.
Dude,
But
booze
one thing's a
is,
taboo and one thing isn't.
alcohol's fucking not good for you.
No.
Not good
No,
for
it's
society.
not. But it's
not good
but
for
it's
anyone.
not a taboo. Like a taboo.
It should
Taboo.
be.
Taboo.
Yeah, taboo.
Taboo. It's not a taboo.
Crack
Taboo.
cocaine's taboo.
From Canada.
Fu Manchu.
But no, dude, alcohol's bad, and
Alcohol was
the
big
people
selling mass.
who manufacture and produce that stuff, I don't care who you are, you're just as bad as a guy that
Well,
fucking produces
okay.
Coke. 'cause
It is so bad.
So
for
they
you.
banned in Massachusetts. They banned vape juices in stores. You can't get mango, but you get like tobacco flavored because they don't want kids to do it, whatever. But like, okay, but it's okay to still sell the fucking lemon vodka. Go fuck yourself.
Well,
raspberry vodka.
Here's the thing, right?
Way more dangerous than vaping.
Here's the thing. We got this guy now, this New England guy. Hey, buy local, DraftKings. We're betting in Boston. Yeah.
Oh wait,
Right?
wait. You talking about Portnoy?
What I'm talking about is that betting became legal in mass, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
And now there's
And
like
terrible.
now we've got people gambling all over the place,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they were going to bookies, they
some
wanted to bet
people
it.
have
Right.
some people have gambling addiction and gambling problems, right?
Gambling's the
But
worst
should we
thing you
make
could do.
gambling illegal? Because these people,
No.
because these few people can't control themselves, should we not let everyone else
Let me tell you,
partake in their own whatever they want to do with their life? Like, who are we to tell them what they can and can't
okay.
do? You know?
I'm not saying that to ban
So-
the vodka.
so
I'm
it
saying
opens
everything
up-
should be open. You should be able to
Yeah,
buy whatever you
right,
want.
right, exactly.
Okay, you want to do anything you want,
So just
fine.
legalize it all.
Like, legalize it all, because you
Regulate
know what?
it, make
Wanna
it
know something?
safe-ish.
If you want steroids,
Safe-ish.
listen. If you want steroids, you want opiates, you're gonna get it anyways.
Yeah.
Like the people that want it are gonna get it.
100%.
It's not gonna start like making like every people that wouldn't do it to begin
It's like
with do it.
It's like gun control.
They
It's like,
wa-
give me
right.
a break. These people are gonna go out and make
People
their
gonna
own.
go out and do it themselves. So like, just let people do. Let grown men and women decide for their bodies what they want to do.
Yeah, it's our lives.
But you
man.
can let me drink myself to death. That's legal. But like, I can't fucking buy strawberry flavored vape juice in Massachusetts. I'm just gonna go to New Hampshire anyways. You fuckers, you're losing all the tax money.
No, there'll always be some place that says, "Hey, I'll meet the demand."
Right?
Vape companies don't have a lobby.
No, right.
They don't have lobbying money to lobby
right
the
now.
politicians.
And
Not right
alcohol
now.
is too ingrained in society for them. Like even like the congressmen and everything, they fucking sipping whiskey underneath their desk and scotch. Like that's just the way it is. Like
Dude, that stuff is bad. I mean,
it's bad.
Everyone's different on it. I've never really gotten violent on booze. I've always been a lover, right? Like, but I mean, I was yelling, "Fuck you, fuck you." I've seen
That
some
was
people.
fun, though.
No, it was fun, love. But I've seen some people act really not good on
yeah.
booze, and it's I get why people would want to make it illegal. You know,
They always think about the kids, but like that's the store owner's responsibility, not mine. I'm fucking 40 years old. If I want to vape, if I want to stick my vape in my ass and suck, I'll do that.
you should be able to
okay?
allowed to do it.
You should be allowed to do it.
You do that only.
Yeah,
once.
it's like when you put food up your ass, you shit out your mouth.
Yeah, right.
We're talking about that this week too. That's
That's
hilarious.
the South Park one.
I know.
Yeah.
My
I told my kids that.
my kid's really getting into South Park.
Very smart.
And I was like, you see
So-
the one?
Tom Cruise episode's the best.
She was
I
like,
think.
Dad, if this show aired today, they'd never let it on. It wouldn't even take root. People would be like, this is horrible. Like, it's only funny because they've only been around forever.
Yeah, but they've been around since like the late 90s. But like,
Yeah.
but like at the same time, that's not that long ago. But like a lot's
Dude,
changed.
a
though, with
lot's
the internet and
changed,
social
but
media.
their popularity has not gone down.
They
There's
have their fan base that they can't.
yeah, like new kids might watch it. Like, this is terrible.
But
But,
it's also they cover every side of everything. It's great.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good about
Like
exposing.
they cover school shootings.
Yeah, they cover everything, man.
And it is wild. I was because I'm a little seasons behind. I've been watching it lately too, and they cover school shootings, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, are they gonna cover school shootings?
Well, they're from Columbine.
I know, so
They went to
And
that
they-
high school.
You have a responsibility to do it then.
and they do it, and it's like,
Well, like
It's fucked up.
The
It's
school
fucked
shooting thing,
up.
like I don't. We're not doing that right now because we've done it before, actually. But like, blame it on Marilyn Manson. Like,
No.
no,
Come on.
yeah,
he makes some rock and roll songs. That's it. Like,
Kids are angry because they're probably getting shit on at home and shit on
Right.
at school.
And high school
and
sucks.
it's just easier to
Yeah.
like go to school and
yeah, and you
I
don't know
wonder
that it's not the end. Like high school, you think it is.
why
when
is
you're there.
this why aren't there more like parental shootings? You know what I mean? Like why isn't that
there are.
It's not. It just doesn't make the news like a school shooting. Is that what you're telling me? Because
Right,
I
'cause
feel like
kids.
I feel like if these kids are getting twisted either at home or in school or both, and usually I feel like society just fucks them
Right.
and lets them down. So there's some mental illness fucking going on in there somewhere. Something snaps and they lose it. Right.
I knew the mentality in high school of like being like, oh, this is it. Like the college kids would come visit. I'd be like, oh, they're like done. Like we're it. Like they're it's
Yeah,
over
yeah.
once you hit that age. Like they're like, and then like you get to college, you're like, wait a second, that's not true. Now I'm 40 and I'm like, fuck high school. I wouldn't want to be back in high school.
I partied my ass off this week. All right.
Yeah, right.
I was incapacitated for the week. Bruce
I
Springstein,
saw
baby.
your father came in my house the other day. Yeah, I had to sign something for him.
Really?
Yep.
The big guy?
Big guy came in. Yeah, we
Wow,
talked
big
for a little bit.
That's
He's
interesting.
telling me that your daughter is driving soon.
Yeah, in May.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
But
You seem jolly and happy.
yeah. You think that this week's song of the week would be a Bruce Springsteen. It's
Right.
But it got trumped. But you know what Bruce played and it was
Oh, sorry.
no, it's all right, buddy. You know what they played and as soon as like the original guitar riffs come on, like the first couple strings, I'm like, what the fuck? Is this the Commodores? They played the Night Shift by the Commodores, which is a really cool song.
Yeah.
You know? And I love that song.
Wait,
And
is that like the 80s or 70s?
it's like on the night shift. They're
It's a
talking
slow
about
song.
Jackie Wilson
He's,
and Marvin Gaye.
He's
and
a
they're
big
the-
fan of rock and like
He's
you know.
dude. Bruce Springsteen's like a little bit of folk, a little bit of rock, a little.
Yeah.
He's got a little
Bluesy.
When he was playing that guy in the video that's in front of me, I remember this. They were playing Pink Cadillac.
Was little Stevie
turn
there?
Down the, yeah,
little-
Stevie Van Zandt was kicking ass.
Nice.
Dude. They were Mighty Max
like Stevie
Weinberg.
Van
Dude,
Zandt.
Max Weinberg was unbelievable, dude. I think he even permed his
Everybody
hair or
cheered
some
for
shit.
Stevie? I bet,
Everybody
right?
cheered for everybody.
I mean, he's
Stevie Van
Sopranos.
Zandt
dude.
came
Yeah,
out.
some Sopranos.
He came out and just did a bow
Silvio
and walked,
Dante.
and people
Yeah,
were,
Sylvie,
people went
he's still-
standing ovation when he came out. But like, he's got Bruce Springsteen. I got a little honky tonk in him, you know.
Yeah.
I said it
What's
by
your
accident.
song
Like,
of the
Bruce
week?
has got a little honky tonk when he needs to, doesn't he? The guy's like, yeah, sure, buddy.
What's your song of the week then?
Song of the week. I just heard it this week. It's Sean said he sounds new. When I sent it to him, I
Does sound
think
new.
it's a new artist.
Yeah. And that's usually not your.
D, like the letter D, J, O, DJO, pronounced by Alexa Joe. Gloom is the name of the song.
Is it rap?
Nah, bro. When I heard the song, I was like, I dig the shit out of this song, and it sounds like the best way I could describe it would be like the Talking Heads and the Cars got together and did like a power song.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, it's cool.
I love the Talking Heads. actually.
Both those bands have a very specific sound. So like if you blend them together, it's kind of what it sounds like with a little bit of like Joan Jett and the Runaways guitar background,
Cool.
you know? So it's like
But for 2022 sound.
came out in 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
So
brand
this guy likes a brand new single.
This is
What's
brand-
going on in
this
the
is-
world?
well, I
Do you
heard
know the
it.
news right now or something too? What's going
Yeah,
on?
yeah,
No,
right.
no. I heard it at work.
My song is
On the radio.
"Flashing Lights" by Kanye West.
Again,
Oh, again.
this has been a dozen.
Has it really?
Yeah.
All right, let me pick another one then. I've been playing.
No, it doesn't
I've
count.
played
You're-
the original Rocky soundtrack on repeat, sometimes for 2 hours straight.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Like in the song, sometimes the song when he gets up, I play that. Like, come on. We were talking about that last week. Like, that's just like
No,
that
it's-
does it for me. That's like symbolic of everything I've gone through.
That's the one.
That's it.
It's the one that gets you.
My spotlight artist is really based on a song of the week for me that I've been jamming out to, and it's this dude named Rema, Rema, and he's like he's Afrobeat artist.
Afrobeat.
I like
That's like
Afro-Man.
that's a new wave right now that's happening,
know.
and this song's called "Calm Down" and it's dope. So you guys check it out.
I'm biased against it because the dude that ripped me off was like a Afrobeat fucking DJ or whatever. And now I'm like, fuck.
Have you heard from him?
No, we don't have to get into that right now.
I was gonna make love to you.
Interestingly,
and I got high.
No, that's
I
Afro
was
Man.
gonna
That's Afro
eat your
Man,
pussy too.
He just got arrested
and
or
I
some
got
shit.
high.
I saw it.
Well, it
came
was a
up.
fake raid.
Oh.
They raided his house by
Now
accident,
I'm jacking off, and I know
and he's
why.
suing.
Those guys are in trouble.
Yeah, and he put a music video out using footage from the raid.
Oh god, good for him.
Why did he get raided? Did somebody?
I think it
swat him?
was a mistaken
Capitalize on it.
identity, or they thought he was someone else.
People
or
get
something.
swatted now too. Like, you gotta be careful. Like, somebody messed with you on a video game, they'll just swat you.
Yeah, they send SWAT to your house.
Yeah, and we've seen it live on like Twitch and shit. It's
This
crazy.
is a thing, swatting
Oh,
somebody?
yeah.
What does that mean?
Somebody says like, oh, somebody's there with a gun. You guys send the SWAT team, and like they're fucking idiots. And they just blast on the door and put everybody on their knees.
Yeah,
and
but,
there have been
like,
shots fired before. Like
When you
like, people
call the
get-
police, you're on a recording. And they're like definitely tracing every call.
people know how to. Those people know how to call without being
Yeah,
traced.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
They call from like a dummy number.
Yeah, you think
I
about that while you're
love
online.
the
and you're
ability to
like,
swat
Yeah,
some
be careful.
people.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Now you go to prison. Especially if
I,
something happens to them.
Well, let me just tell you this. This is a perfect lead-in for this.
Is this
week's
conflict
topic.
resolution?
Yeah,
Dude, it's all, the school shootings, the fucking swatting, all that bullshit is a lack of conflict resolution.
Well, technically, it's a conflict resolution practice. It's just a violent.
Well,
You know what my conflict resolution is? No conflict whatsoever.
well,
Right.
you,
I have
that's
none.
that's not natural, right? You're gonna,
but it is natural. 'Cause
we
it
don't
can
have
happen.
we don't have to say conflict, right? We could just say disagreement. We could say debate. There's a lot of different things that can rise that aren't like as severe as conflict, but they can turn into a conflict really fucking fast, right? Like, I'll give you a perfect example. We went to the Bruce Springstein concert 10 years ago in the luxury box up at
So this is your second time.
this is how crazy this is, okay? We went to the luxury box 10 years ago, and you're up there, and I've told the story online before, but if you never heard it, you're in an isolated box, and you have to, security to get up, but not security up there, right? Like, it's private. It's you're paying for privacy, right? And whatever, but you got these other isolation boxes next to you with these other rich assholes. Well, we fucking went last to that one time, and literally a 10, 20 person fight brawl broke out in the box next to us and almost spilled out into ours. So I was like, man, this violent fucking fist fight just happened inside this box, right? I shit you not. Me and Noonan go to the concert the other night, and the thing with the box that we went to was it was expensive seats, and it's like a really hoity-toity like section, but there's no designated seats. It's first come, first serve on the seats. So people come and put their jackets. Dude, before the concert started, we were sitting there. The people in the front row in front of us were getting into a very serious argument about who had the seats first, and to the point where they got security involved and pulled up the footage and all this shit.
Oh, shit.
But I was sitting there thinking to myself, holy fucking shit, I think I'm at my second Bruce Springsteen concert in a sweet, sweet box, and a fucking melee fight is about to break out right in front of me.
See, you know what I wonder too is you actually have resolved conflict with fisticuffs.
Sure, that's a form of conflict.
Well, okay, Chael Sonnen, I saw it today. Chael Sonnen, the UFC fighter, he said that like any parent that teaches their kids to wait for the first punch is an idiot. Once they invade you with intent to hurt you, you throw the first punch.
I mean, it's situational, and you gotta
it's
like
situational.
everyone has to learn like
Right.
when it's time to pull the trigger and when it isn't.
You know,
so to
I
speak.
punched a bag recently, and punching, it takes a lot out of you.
Yes.
And you got to be careful of your wrists because I
Yes.
didn't realize your wrists fucking bend weird when you punch.
When you
Like,
punch in karate, they teach you, if you have any kind of good karate teacher, you want to bend your wrist at a 5-degree angle down. That straightens it with your bones
Yeah.
there.
I have wrist guards that go over my
What do they
thumb
call that?
and
The
wrist.
ulna and the radius? Is that what those bones are called?
Yeah.
I can't fucking believe it. Kiss it. But yeah, okay. So conflict resolution on a one-on-one level, people don't. We're not really taught it anymore. And like in the old days when you grew up, right? Like my grandfather's World War II generation, especially, and probably before that, it was like standard operating procedure in society in general, right? But like, if there was a bully in school, the first advice your grandfather would give you is be like, punch him right in the nose immediately.
Did he do that though? Like,
Oh, definitely they
think
did.
so?
100%. and we started not being
can't
able
even do
to
that
fight
now, though.
in schools probably in the late 80s, early 90s. If you went to a private school, you got kicked out for fighting. If you went to public school, you could fight, but like eventually they could suspend you. Nowadays,
If you
kids
win
aren't
the fight,
allowed.
even if they punch first, you're gonna get in trouble.
Dude, kids aren't allowed. They're not allowed to. No violence at all is tolerated in schools. Period.
My little brother got jumped.
And that's over. That's over. Like right then and there, it starts out with like, okay, well, violence can't be. If we're not using violence as a conflict resolution, even though these people are hurting me and I'm trying to defend myself, right? Because even if they're not like physically hurting you and they're just bullying you, like making fun of you or like trying to make you look
That's
weak
rough.
in front of the other kids, that hurts your psychic. That hurts your psyche, dude. It hurts your feelings, and like it all builds up to more and more negative shit. And
So wait, if you get into a fight, you're expelled
oh yeah, dude.
A lot
I
of
think even in
times,
public
yeah.
school now they'll throw you out for it.
or you're suspended.
Depends on the situation. Too.
They'll do whatever they can do, dude. All I'm telling you is like, what I think is
That's how it
there's
was when we were growing up. We get into a fight, you get suspended.
Yeah,
You
and
get
then
a
you
fight
come,
in school,
and then
you
you
get
can come
suspended.
back to school though.
Yeah.
Then it's over, and you can come back, and you might get in another fight, whatever. But nowadays, they take kids, they'll throw them out of school. Period. They'll make them change schools. They'll be like, no, they'll get a restraining order. There's all kinds
They'll
of
sue the
fucking
parents.
That off of
tippy
one
toe.
fight?
Yeah, tippy toe. I'm telling you, at my kid's school, they make us sign a handbook, and at the beginning, right, there's
They
a whole
don't fight.
section in on
Well, we went to high
any
school, we
violence
didn't
at
have
all,
fights.
automatic expulsion. Doesn't fucking
He's
matter.
the only one that I know that got jumped in school.
I got in a fight many a time at BG. It was always
I never
like
did.
people defending me. The only time I ever went after anyone was this fucking piece of shit, Nate Occhipenti. He brought his
Dropping
homeboys
names.
to that hockey game. I don't care about this fucking cunt. This is history. He fuck this kid. He brought his homeboys to the hockey game, and they just didn't like me. They were jealous of me, whatever.
They didn't jump you there, though,
They
right?
did. They jumped me at the game. I was there with my brother, Tara
They
Minishak.
had some balls.
I was there with Tara
You
Minishak,
don't usually do that.
Aaron Dooley, and my brother, and I was like separated from like the boys, you know. So I didn't want my brother to get beat up. So I was like, just told my brother, I was like, bro, go get like Seamus and Josh and Warren and all these guys, right? The football team.
They knew you were friends with them too. It's pretty dumb.
It's crazy. So then
Why didn't you
it's
have
just
retaliate?
me and the two girls versus four guys, and we kicked the fucking shit out
you
of them.
did?
Oh, Tara Minishak and Aaron Dooley, dude, they fight like guys back in the day. They kick your ass. They were beating
Oh, I
the
didn't know-
fuck
I thought
out of
you
these
got beat
kids.
up.
No, I didn't. I don't think I got hit even one time, dude. I was a senior in high school. I was like just getting my black belt in Taekwondo.
Why did they want to do that? Why did they like
I think
you?
they honestly, I think they were drunk. I think it was just alcohol, and they were drunk and stupid, and they were just picking on the wrong guy.
We should,
And
we should find
the
him and bring him on the show. Nate Occhipenti.
Well, dude, the
Seriously.
very next day in school, the first thing I did right when we got in, when everyone was there, and first thing was I grabbed him right by the throat, trachea, and put my thumb deep into his trachea and held him down on the ground. And he was like, whoa, 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 and then like they broke up the fight before anything could happen. But I just fucking went
Seriously,
right.
I would love to
Trachea,
hunt him
down
down.
on the ground, neutralized him.
I wonder what he'd have to say. I
Do
bet
you
he's
know
like
that-
the kids, and he's just like, shit,
That
I'm
was
sorry.
bro. That was senior year of high school.
Really?
Freshman or sophomore year, I'm hanging out with all my boys from college who just happen to be really big, jacked dudes, right? Like Dwayne, fucking couple of the dudes on the football team, whatever. We get invited to go up to fucking Keene State to visit my friend Jill DeRoja, aka shout out Jugs DeRoja. Okay.
Oh, I forgot about her.
We get there. Who goes to fucking school there? Who's at the party? Little Nate Occhipenti all by his little self. Oh, man. I fucking kicked his ass a second
did?
time. Yes. With all the boys.
So wait, so now we're
in college.
that wasn't a conflict though. You were the aggressor.
Yeah.
He was.
That's
needed
'cause
to
I
re-
not- time
he
out.
needed to
Rose
resolve
and
that.
skills.
Time out. I went after him in school, and they broke up the fight. I never got my resolution. This was the resolution.
So wait, so we're not talking about conflict resolution.
We're talking about
I
fight.
see him-
We're talking
Conflict
about
resolution is avoiding conflict.
Yes.
No. It's conflict resolution is resolving a conflict, preferably
With
without
violence.
without violence. Preferably without violence.
Yes.
And unfortunately, in our society now, we don't even talk shit out anymore. They just fucking ghost you. Instead of being like, hey, I can't go out with you anymore, I want to break up, or even if it's like a friendship that you don't want to, like, you decided like this person's like not your person anymore, and you don't want to hang out with them, they did something maybe you don't like, maybe you're just too cool for school. No fucking, hey, I had a problem with that thing you did on Monday, I'm sorry, but we're not going to be friends anymore. None of that shit. It's just fucking ghost them. In the corporate world, your boss used to sit you down, say, hey, good job, blah, blah, blah. Now they have to have a fucking they got 2 HR people in the room. They've got to already know if they're even fair grounds for you to fire them.
Yeah. Kingsley's new job, they can't fire you. It's
They
like
walk you out. They walk you out like because they're afraid you're going to go like postal on them and all this stuff. There's no conflict resolution in our society today, and to the point still where like we live in this place where they're like, hey man, no violence, no fights, don't do this, don't do that. But like as a country, on a grander scale, like when we have a problem with another country, yeah, we try to talk it out. Sometimes we try to buy it, but at the end of the day, it escalates to violence.
Yeah.
But they're allowed.
But that's not conflict.
They're allowed.
The violence.
They're allowed to do it because they're like, well, these are trained people.
When it goes to violence,
decided.
When it goes to violence, that's when conflict resolution fails.
I'm just saying,
exactly, because conflict resolution is a agreement that
resolving conflict without violence.
Yeah, and it's the actual definition is conflict resolution is the process of ending a dispute and reaching an agreement that satisfies all parties involved.
Sure.
So, like,
violence is
some of what you're talking about is not like with your boy.
Violence is not reaching an agreement.
Violence has always been
unless you agree to fight.
Violence has always been the most efficient and like the end all of conflict resolution.
Wait, but it's not
technically a failure.
Resolution.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. If you learn
violence,
if you
violence and this conflict resolution.
when like old school karate, they used to like teach you that like you failed if you've had to get in a fight because like you failed to resolve the conflict peacefully. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying is conflict resolution is a peaceful way of avoiding violence. Once you get to violence, it's no longer conflict resolution.
Well,
unless you're in like Oregon where they have like a mutual agreed combat, which is kind of cool because you could be like, a cop can't even get in the way. You could say, I want to fight him.
That's a good
You want to
thing.
fight him? Okay, let's fight. And then they'll break it up.
But you know what? This is where I was going with that too.
Kill somebody, pound them down.
The Colosseum in Rome, right? It got a bad rap, I think, because they used to put a lot of slaves and just do a lot of horrible shit in there. But there were people that fought in there of their own free will. And I feel like...
I think maybe early on.
They were badasses.
I'm just telling you...
Some people were like, oh, they were vegans. Yeah, because they didn't feed them meat because it was expensive.
Yeah.
Why?
Bread was like, you got bread and you were lucky.
You know what I was thinking the other day? I was talking with somebody about this. Some of these statues that they did in ancient Roman times are like super amazing physiques. And like people always talk about Sandow being the first bodybuilder in like the 30s, whatever. But like people must have purposely been bodybuilding back then to look like that. You can't just look like that by like just eating good and
They were athletes. They were athletes.
But I mean, I'm just saying, I think there were people that purposely grew their bodies a certain way, like just purposely did that just to be a model for statues.
The Greeks
like
invented
that.
the Olympics, like
I just
time
think
ago.
outside of athletics, I think the sport of bodybuilding existed thousands of years ago, and it came back in the 20th century.
A lot of those Olympic events had to do with like warfare, though. Like how far can this guy throw a javelin? Like how far can this dude
shot put?
You know what I mean? Like
jumping.
The running speed thing was like, all right, how fast does this guy run? Like, humans love a good race.
It's amazing they talk about the Olympics in modern day, but like I don't think there was an Olympics every year. Like since Greek times, but I think that's where it started, and then they brought it back.
I just like to say, Tina Turner in the 80s, Mad Max 3, Beyond Thunderdome. Thunderdome existed specifically for one-on-one conflict resolution, and this is a post-nuclear society where all the governments and people of the world had basically let us down and launched nukes and blown everything up. Okay. And so they're trying to rebuild society, and they live in Bartertown, right? Who rules Bartertown? Master Blaster rules Bartertown.
It reminds me of Waterworld kind of bartering.
Well, listen, they have Thunderdome, and when you get in a fight in Bartertown, automatic you get arrested, and you and the guy you fought get thrown into Thunderdome at night for everyone to watch and see. And the rules are 2 men enter, 1 man leave. 2 men enter, 1 man leave. 2 men enter, 1 man leave. Remember Mel Gibson? He has to fight the blaster guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at the beginning of that whole scene, before anything else happens, like the circus arena guy, the ringleader is that what they call a guy? The ringleader guy, right? He gets on there into the crowd and he says, "When men get to fighting leads to war. No, fighting leads to killing, and killing leads to warring, and warring was almost the death of us all, or the end of us all." So since that point, they decided the best thing is for 2 guys to enter the Thunderdome, 1 man to leave, and that was it. The conflict was over. I don't know how they handled revenge killings, but the Vikings used to do that too, and a lot of societies used to do that. And in like, you know, fictional shows like Game of Thrones, they had like single combat. You could challenge somebody to single combat, right?
That was very
and that was like
duels.
And you know where that went awry was when you could like pick a guy in your stead, be like, no, I choose this giant guy over here to fight for me, and now see I'm right, because that just basically meant like anyone with money could be right,
Or friends,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of like that's bullshit. But 2 men enter, 1 man leave.
But also, you use the Vikings as an example of conflict resolution, and you know those guys
they raped
thrived
like-
off. Yeah, exactly.
Conflict.
I think we're probably in the most peaceful time in the history of
there's-
our Earth.
Yeah, right. And there's right. I definitely think so. And there's people act like we're not, but we are.
We
and there's
certainly
like,
are.
listen, conflict resolution is not conflict. Conflict is conflict. Resolution is finding a way not to have conflict.
peace is good. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying to you is, okay, as a result of having to like eat your feelings, not be able to say stuff, not be able to lash out, not be able to challenge a dude to a fight, like all that crap, right? Like what if a dude sleeps with your wife? You don't want to be able to challenge him to a fight and kick his ass afterwards and be like, fuck you?
Well, I mean,
You think you're out of your rights as a
that's
man,
on
as a
her,
married man,
too.
to do that?
but if he tried, yeah, that's on her too.
All right, but
though,
how do you
obviously.
reactionary?
Why would I
How do you feel? Like, what's your instinct?
I'm gonna go to the gym.
Would you be madder at her? Than,
course.
yeah,
Of course, they're mad
right.
at, but
But like,
also,
but like,
you want
I'd
to
be mad at him
fucking
too.
snuff
Yeah,
the other
but
dude
it's not
out.
the same as like somebody like putting their hands on my wife. Like,
All right.
well,
Okay.
that's different. I'm
Okay.
fucking fighting.
Okay.
All right, but
Perfect.
what do you are a
But I'm not saying
self-proclaimed
that I'm a-
Buddhist?
Yeah.
What
but-
do Buddhists
Yeah,
do?
I'm not a Buddhist. I'm not saying I'm only for conflict resolution. I'm just saying that violence isn't conflict resolution. But I'm for violence too when it's needed.
The Buddhist solution is that all of this stuff is perpetually based on the hurting of your ego, and that you have to let go of your ego, and then it won't hurt you at all.
Right.
But that's not the real teaching for everybody from day one. And that's like
You're not
something
there yet.
you have. Well, it takes a whole lifetime to even get close to it. And then I just think that kids these days need to be taught. I think that like society's going the way it's going, or people are all depressed, or whatever the fuck's wrong with everyone right now is a function. This is part of it, and that if we're not going to teach conflict resolution, we need to teach kids values that aren't like 100% based on like money and sports success. We need to teach kids that it's like cool to be nice, right? Like
Yes.
like it's like we don't teach kids that enough. And like this, well, it's like, well, it starts at home with family values, but like in school and like other places, there should be like a focus on
Life skills too.
teaching kids to be empathetic, like learn about like when you say something to somebody that might hurt their feelings, or like things you do might hurt other people, right? And it's like,
This is one of the things that people, like a lot of conservatives, say is like the pussification.
Yes.
of America.
I know.
Complain. It divides people, like for some reason.
I know. So I think like there should be a balance to it. Like we should have a Coliseum. There should be a Thunderdome. There should be a place where like two people can be like, you know what? I've had it. We're going in there and that's it. And you sign the fucking waivers, whatever you got to do. There should be like a law against retaliation, you know, like whatever. But like there has to be a focus on teaching kids to be better people. But we are still animals, and we're going to resort to those animalistic tendencies sooner or later. So we should do it in the most civil way, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
There are
Sounds barbaric.
some famous people in history that are famous for like peace and conflict resolution, right?
Yes.
Nelson Mandela being one of them.
Gandhi.
Mandela effect.
Probably Jesus.
I want to do an episode of the Mandela effect. Yes.
Yes.
Want to
Yes.
do that? We do that
Mandela,
next.
Gandhi,
Jesus.
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King.
Who's the other dude? There's one more. Big one.
Kai the Hitchhiker. No, he killed the
No,
guy.
yeah,
He killed the guy with the
killed the guy
hatchet.
with the
Sorry.
hatchet.
My bad.
Then he
the
murdered someone
hitchhiker.
after.
Yeah, that too.
But those people had every right to not
Every animal right to
lead
lash out.
peaceful
Yeah, they should have been.
conflict resolution.
They could have been freedom
But they
fighters.
knew that if they did that, then it would be all out war forever. It would never be peace.
Yeah, war just goes back and forth.
I
It's
mean,
like 2 men enter one.
Desmond Tutu also part of that, like South Africa and ending apartheid and all that. So, you know, they changed the world with their practices.
I know. What happened to them, though?
I think it's still there. It's just the status quo of keeping things a certain way is violent.
What do you think? What do you think is the...
If you're going to say, if there's
You
all
don't
these
think that-
movements
you
of
don't
like,
think
hey,
that-
we should stop doing this certain thing, and then this protest, peaceful protest, whatever, and obviously every peaceful protest has violent protesters, blah, blah, blah. In that process, like the status quo and the power of the status quo, the power of keeping things and not changing things, regardless of how things are hurting others, is strong.
Status quo is strong.
Like, oh yeah, we got kids with mental health issues, and they get so worked up and they get go so shit on in school that they go buy a gun or steal a gun from their parents and shoot up a school. That's their way of that's their way of solving their issue.
I get that the
Like,
people
and they-
who pull the trigger are ultimately at fault, right? Like I'm not,
Of course,
I'm
but
not
the
taking that
response-
off of them, but like what caused them to get to that point? And like
The community response should be, as a group, we have to limit the availability of guns, and we have to have some mental health stuff in schools.
we can't limit
Those
the
are all
availability.
Band-Aids, but,
Can't
like,
limit the availability of guns. It's
we have to.
it's unrealistic. We got to do the school thing though.
We have to do the both.
How are you going to do it? People will make people listen. Guns
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Guns don't kill people,
Like,
but
all right,
people
when did
kill
school
people.
shootings start?
Yeah, but
right?
there's not a lot of gun shootings in Australia because there's no guns.
No, I hear you, but
When did
More
school
guns?
shootings start? Right? When did that start?
Well, there were more.
It was
before
99.
Columbine.
It was before Columbine.
Yeah, there was
but
some before Columbine.
When
yeah.
did it? Like, you didn't hear about this in the 50s.
I just feel like a kid would light the school on fire and lock all the doors or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know,
Like,
the bad.
Yes, of course, but like, it's hard to walk in with a friggin' tank full of gasoline.
no, you're right. It's in a super efficient way to get the job done.
I'm not saying take away guns because I believe in personal freedoms, but in countries that did take away guns, there's no gun shootings. Like,
the math is the math.
I'm not saying take away guns. I'm just saying if you're 18,
No,
you
I'm
can't
not
have
either.
one. If you're in high school, you can't have a gun.
yeah,
That's simple.
yeah, but
You're
yeah.
a kid.
You gotta
Some
have
places they don't care as long as you're over age. That's it. Like, but if you can go to war and use a gun in war,
Guns weren't this available ever in the history of the United States.
Am I a gun enthusiast?
Yeah, you're fighting us right now.
No, I'm just asking in general. Do you
yeah,
think I'm a
but
gun
there are
enthusiast?
gun
Yes.
hobbyists though that have so many guns, and they
like,
why do you need
I am
guns? Because I
I'm
collect
for,
them.
Yeah.
I'm for tighter gun control. I felt like
Say you like them, like
Yeah.
well, I do.
you don't
I
have to have some excuse about like protection, all this bullshit. You
Yeah.
can just be like, I like guns.
no, but I feel like it's like a simple request to get a background check before you get a firearm, and I feel like it's like a simple request to
That's
say like
Massachusetts,
you
though.
you have to
Yeah.
keep these
Other
things.
places don't do that.
Yeah, but I know, but I feel like we need better control to stop the mass
Right.
conflict resolution.
Okay, so Massachusetts, but like Massachusetts has like background checks. You have to take a class, whatever. But in like Texas, they don't want that. That's a huge infringement on their rights.
right, fine.
They think we're nuts. They want their guns and that's it. They want to just go in and buy them.
Violence aside, you don't think that we're getting to the opposite way where kids can't even look someone in the eye anymore and tell them how they feel, or like everyone just ghosts everybody? It's even like adults do
The
it.
internet fucks people up.
You think it's the internet?
The internet, yes, the internet fucks people up, but at the same time, there's more access to psychologists and people that are like, and some of them are like, you know, bullshit artists, but like,
Oh,
I got
fuck
a
yeah.
couple people on TikTok that are like licensed psychologists, and they're like, here's how you fight in a relationship. Here's a good way to do that. Like if you're, and then they outline it, and there's multiple. Or like, you know,
That's good skills to learn, especially if
Yeah.
you're married.
Hell
That's
yeah.
conflict.
Right
that's
now.
conflict resolution skills.
big
Yeah.
time.
so you should
I got
teach
it
that.
better now than I did when I first was with Kingsley. Like I used to like
People
feed
need
into
more
it.
of them.
It should be taught in school.
I'm trying to tell you right now, our tools that exist, our main tools that we use, are violence
Yes.
or run away and don't deal with it at all. Ghost them.
Or it's some sort of
And we need better tools.
digital violence.
I'm not trying to promote,
Or just
even though I'm for the Coliseum and for Thunderdome,
Yeah,
because
that's
I
what-
think
yeah.
because I think those are necessary.
We have that now.
And I think
MMA.
I think
Yeah, exactly.
I know, but
We can
it's-
watch cage fighting now. These
That's
guys.
how
are-
those guys
these
do it.
cage fighters now. The level since like the 90s.
Oh, yeah, they
it's
leap
gone up so crazy.
Well,
like
yeah.
Khabib.
Practice.
Like it's just amazing. Like they're like
well,
the guys in the 90s.
it's innovation.
Yeah, no, it's innovation, right? It's a young sport, so it's obviously going to grow exponentially. But like the guys now, compared to like the guys in the 90s, they kill them.
Well,
now.
dude, like if you watch, let's say like Bob Cousy and those guys play basketball, right?
Yeah.
You might see one of them do a couple of smooth moves. Like, oh my God, you see that guy
Nice
bounce?
pass,
Did you see
maybe.
that bounce? Did you see that bounce
They didn't even
pass?
dunk. They thought it was.
Did you just see that? Did you see the shot? He hit it off the backboard and into the net. Unbelievable. He used the backboard, right? So, like, when a game first comes out, every new hot little shit is awesome, right? But then as time goes on, before you know it, you got Larry Bird. Everyone's like watching Larry Bird play. I watched a video on him this week, and it was all these old school basketball players talk about him, like how he would destroy people today, and they're like, "Why? Like he's not fast."
Destroy them today.
No, they're saying
he'd be able to play though.
Listen,
he'd be good.
I'm telling you, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, all these guys, they're not stupid, dude. They were professional athletes. They definitely have met today's athletes, right? Like they know LeBron James, they know all these guys. And don't get me wrong, our generation between the 80s people playing hoops and the people playing now is like night and day difference. Those dudes were playing like part-time, smoking weed, booze, and joints, right? Everything, right? When they got out of practice. And these athletes today are like start when they're like 5 and they're on diets and they're like, everything is
HGH,
it's all planned. It's like the total goal. But what I'm telling you is that like
Jordan could play in any era though.
Sure. But what I'm telling you is that he even said Larry Bird was such a good basketball player on every level. What ultimately he was mentally he was like an Einstein of the game is what they were saying. Like so like he wasn't the fastest, he wasn't like the quickest, he didn't have the best stamina and all that other stuff, but he could do things with a basketball that no one was ready for yet. And so he was like a prodigy, like a Bruce Lee of basketball, basically. Right. So
you also got to point like you got to think like the guys that are playing now have
all that to build on.
And again, this goes back to this access to information, like access to guns. You got more. You can get a gun, you can go buy one whenever you want.
Yeah.
You have there's probably easier access to get to a gun than mental health help right now. If you're all fucked up, how do you get it? Better help? Okay, cool, but you can't. It takes a couple weeks. You can go get a gun before you can go. So in the same theory,
that's if you're
Larry
even
Bird's
willing,
just hooping, right?
If you're even willing to go try to look for help, right?
Larry Bird's way of like staying healthy and like being in shape was saying no to drugs. Now they have so much sports science, they have so much freaking supplements and
performance enhancing drugs that aren't on the WADA list.
Exactly,
yet.
that aren't on the list yet. They're working out. There's the different ways of working out. Back then it was like lift shit, the different types of shoes, the fucking support for your knees and
Reebok,
all that shit.
Pumps.
The knee braces, they didn't have
The
that stuff back
compounds
then.
now are amazing too. Like I'm taking a supplement now called Cardarine that increases your cardio output by like 60%. It's unbelievable. You just keep going. And like it's banned in sports now because it's not dangerous for you, but
what's
it gives you an unfair edge.
What's cardio output? Like how many beats per minute you can do?
No.
Volume
like
of blood
like,
you can
just,
pump?
No.
Oxygen levels? What
I'm talking about doing cardio. Fitness.
Yeah, you go longer, harder.
You can go longer, harder. Yep.
Yep. Gotcha. It's methamphetamines.
No. It's not. It's not a stimulant. No.
Just checking.
Nope. Not at all.
Just checking.
So it's like access to information where there is that, but then there's also like kids around.
I will say
young adults. We're using young adults as the example because I think you are a fucking closest you're gonna get to being a serial killer when you're in. I think personally, 70. Yeah,
because of hormones and
you're just you only care about yourself. You're just a terrible person. You could kill people
when you're 13.
Yeah.
That's the most dangerous.
Teen boys are the most dangerous people on the planet.
Oh my god!
They got full balls and empty brains.
They're so easily persuaded to do things by like Andrew Tate and people like that. They get stuck into these cult of personalities, big time. And like if they get into the wrong one, like if they get into David Goggins, that's cool. But if it's like somebody that's like, what's it called? They're like something ized. I forgot, but radicalized.
Yeah, radicalized.
Yeah, so then you're fucked. Like he's a kid, and if he gets it, if he somehow clicks with him, it's fucking over.
You're at the most Neanderthalic at that point.
Yeah, especially like if like this person that's like giving you speeches on things is saying certain things like the people are bad to you, the society's holding you back with women. All this shit is gonna fucking compound and be like.
Everything's not your fault. It's the society's fault. These other people's fault.
But you learn later that it's not. It's you. It's all you, baby.
I also
simple tricks and nonsense.
It's true.
Some of the work I do outside of here, which we want to talk about, led me to being at a high school with a bunch of kids around and a local resource officer at the high school that we know.
What's a resource officer?
A police officer inside the high school. And what she was telling me was
My buddy Jeff does that.
the young women are the most violent.
Yeah.
Like violent. Like the
kid-
boys
my kid
will
did.
fight it out, and that's what it is, and then it's over.
Oh, they're
the girls are like fighting their own
hatred.
friend and like doing the most violent shit.
Hatred.
Like she was telling me one story
Because
that-
they feel betrayal deep.
Hormonally too. Like
And they're all over the
we're
fucking
not
place.
equal in our hormones. We're different. Like we're totally different.
Listen,
Totally
I'm-
different.
Our hormones
Listen.
do not dip like that in a course of a month.
I want you to think about this. You've changed as a person a little bit over
Yeah,
the
I'm
last.
still Danny D though.
Oh, you're still you, but you're acting differently. But your baseline is different now because of your hormones.
Yeah.
And that's a real thing, dude. Hormones affect
Yeah.
how you act, how you feel, what you want, what you don't want, all that shit. So like imagine being a chick and like your hormones are all over the goddamn place
Always.
every
And you're a
single
teenager.
month. And you're a
Yeah.
teenager and you're insecure. It's gotta
Yeah.
be crazy.
and you like whatever
And you got
girls
blood
are
coming out of
listening to, like or whatever's influencing them.
No, I'm telling you, it's a sensitivity thing. They feel deep.
But all right,
You know,
so
higher
this one
estrogen.
story,
Respond, dude.
Higher estrogen too.
this one story was this young woman.
Chicks are mean to each
They were friends in the bathroom together, and the girl was like, "Why are you looking at me like that?" And she slammed her head off the sink, and this girl broke her teeth. Fucked her all up, and she's like, "This is a regular occurrence. This type of like that extreme level of violence."
Interestingly enough, my advice to my daughter and my spare daughter their entire lives were when you're in school, the first person that messes with you, you grab them, smash their face down, and you stand up and you say, does anyone else want to challenge me? Immediately. And eventually it got to be like a joke where like like Alexia is like 25 and like she's got a problem with someone at work, and I'll say to her like, well, you should have grabbed her, smashed her face into the table, then stood up and said, does anybody else want to do what this person just did? And she's like, yeah, that'll solve everything.
Yeah,
So like even they were like, yeah, what's that going to do? You know?
I think you like part of the lack of conflict resolution in our area is because of you. Is
You spreading, on radicalizing young girls' minds.
You know what's funny is like I was thinking too, like, okay, testosterone goes up like 10, 15 times what it was like, 3 months ago, whatever for me. And like, am I more aggressive towards like wanting to fight every
don't
guy
know.
that comes by? Not really.
You called me
Yeah.
a pussy really bad like 2
That's
weeks
true.
ago. I felt,
That
I
hit
felt
him. He felt that because he
No.
texted me later. I know if you text
no
me later,
psychically
Yeah, hit
no
Chris,
like
yeah.
that hit me with like a wave of like
positive.
like it felt like you bitch slapped me back into like 12, and like I was up on some bridge or something I didn't want to jump
sorry.
off of,
And I
and you
felt
were
a little
like,
bad
you
for it."
fucking pussy. No, I loved it. I was like, wow. I was like, because it was raw. It wasn't fake. It was the realest pussy I've been called in
definitely-
so long.
I'm definitely more
Like,
raw.
Nobody's called me a pussy like that in 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Like,
my emotions are a
couldn't
little
believe
more
it.
deadish.
I loved it.
Kingsley told me at first 5 weeks or so I was dumb. She called it testosterone dumb.
Yeah.
And but then like my focus and clarity got better because it takes a little bit to get used to it. But I'm definitely more raw now, like not as emotional like about things. Like things just roll off me. That's why I feel like I wouldn't get into fights because I'm just like I'd rather just not be there for it.
well, I'll tell you what. I
But I'm not afraid either. And
am
that's
working
one
on
of the
becoming a
things.
therapist. That's number one. Number two,
I'll take the therapist for 400.
the rapist. Number two, I have to get a degree I have to get a master's degree in either psychology or social work.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards social work.
Probably easier.
It's probably easier. Psychology is probably like
Well, it
hard,
depends
but
what
think,
you wanna do.
I think
You
still have to take, like,
psychology
research
I think
shit.
I'm gonna. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I haven't done anything yet, but I'm investigating it right now. But
But you'll learn ways of you'll learn.
my goal is
Too
to
bad
help
you can't
people with
use weed.
depression. But I'm interested to learn what the institutionalized tools and techniques are for this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
There's
not,
a
not
lot.
just your own
There's a lot.
theories.
There's a lot of college.
You can put
degrees.
your own theories into it, but like learning that stuff will be really good.
I'm going to be in class and I'm going to be like, but don't you think if they had a coliseum that they could go in and be like, you know what, who cares
I would
about our
love to be there in
feelings?
Yeah,
class.
yeah.
I'm going to smash this guy with an axe.
Yeah, yeah.
And can I also just say, it's not that far fetched. Like we're living in a time right now where we have those smash rooms. We just go smash the shit out of shit. wouldn't it be nice to just have a place where you can go either beat the shit out of somebody or have the shit beat out of you, whichever it is that you need to make you figure out. All right. Let's back it up.
MMA
Let's back it up.
right?
Let's back it up. The movie Fight Club came out, 2000, something like that?
Something like that.
1998.
Now, that entire movie was just essentially about the lack of, like, real feeling in everyday life and how, like,
you're
everyone's
working to
more...
buy shit you don't need.
Yeah, instead of just getting in touch with, like, your raw animal, like, self.
Yeah.
Right? That movie was extremely popular.
Yeah, and it hit people hard, and now it just kind of went away.
Well, it went away because we all got old and those guys got old. But like that movie, when it came out, was like everyone was like, "Yeah, for sure."
Well, then you watch it again. You're like, "Oh shit, this is a full hallucination."
At the end of it, this guy has blown up, the city.
right? But it was all
It's
made
a
up.
schizophrenic guy.
Yeah,
No, I don't know if it's all made up.
yeah. The whole thing is in his mind.
Oh, I
That's
don't-
why
Yeah.
they're saying at the end of the song. What's the song? Where is my mind?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
thought,
Where
The
is
whole thing's
my
made up.
mind? Yeah.
Even I've seen theories on even like the Fight Club itself isn't even real. Nothing's
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
doesn't
nothing's
matter.
Real.
Doesn't matter. The movie touched people.
Fantasy.
It touched
Oh,
people
yeah.
in society
You
that
want
they
to
were
talk
like,
about
"Yo,
ripped and in good
that's
shape?
what's
Brad
real."
Pitt was fucking shredded.
Yeah, he was.
He's always is.
When he took his shirt off, though, like
You ever see
like,
him in,
that's like not natural
ever
dude
see
who
him in
just fucking
Snatch?
Yeah.
goes to a Fight Club. That's like like a year of intensive fucking
Yeah.
shit.
Do you like-
Snatch too.
do you like
right
Doug's?
around the same
Snatch
time?
too, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like Doug's?
I
What?
like Doug's.
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 Do you like Doug's?
Oh, dogs. Yeah, I like Doug's.
Brad Pitt. Brad
I
Pitt
like
plays a
caravans more.
What movie's that?
Brad in the movie Snatch. Brad Pitt plays
Oh,
a
Snatch.
He's a boxer and he's
Yeah.
he's a gypsy.
Gypsy.
Yeah, Gypsy
Parky.
Boxer. I've seen a little bit.
And he
of that,
says, "Do you like
I
Doug's?"
need to watch the whole thing.
So good.
Dude, it's one of the greatest Guy
I gotta
Ritchie
watch
movies.
it. Yeah.
So
There's performance enhancing drugs
somewhere
right there, too.
between therapy and the Coliseum lies the secret to conflict resolution, and only I am now going to go to school and mesh the two theories together for.
Man, you should film being in class because that's
I was gonna
a.
say I want to sit in class to watch him because if it's an open discussion, he's talking.
He can't not.
No, I'm gonna
can't
be. Cool.
not.
I'm gonna be cool.
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
be cool. You've gone to school.
Listen,
you know I can do
listen,
it.
all right? We know you, and you're gonna talk.
You went to school with me before I was into weed.
Yeah, that's true. You
That's
were
a,
full
now.
alcohol
Now
at
it's
that point.
No,
I
didn't
went to college
go
for
school
psychology,
drunk. I mean,
too.
maybe.
Yes, we did. We
No.
definitely did.
No. We went to school drunk plenty of times. It wasn't like you don't smoke. You smoke weed every day. You go to school. That's it's a different animal.
Right.
You smoked weed in college, didn't you? No.
Not like I
Little
do
bit.
now.
Lightly.
Not like it's like
Yeah.
oxygen. So I just want to end the story with end the show with a little story from that era, right? I don't know if you remember it because I'd be like, you are not out of bounds to have concerns about what I might say into a
Yeah.
college class,
Right.
Because I'm concerned a little bit about. I was like, all right, man, you can go back to school. You're gonna be paying for it yourself. You got to
Yeah.
be cool. It's like no shenanigans, no bullshit. I was like, just stick to the fucking program, get through it, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, remember when I was a sophomore? No, I was a freshman in college, but it was the second semester. So I was in English 2.
Yeah.
And I was an engineering major. So all my core classes were like these nerdy engineer guys that are like really like, practical, whatever.
Yeah.
And I got the English assignment. Why was sex such a heavy undertone in the writing of this era? That's the assignment.
Because they were oppressed and
So-
they wanted their smut.
So I fucking hand in what is later known as the Candyaman theory on male horniness. Okay, you remember this?
Yes.
Okay. So I hand the paper in, thinking nothing's awry because the assignment was why was sex so important to these people during this time. I show up to class the next day. My teacher's all standoffish, like human resources
no.
bullshit.
Yeah.
She's pale as a ghost. She says to me, "I've been instructed to tell you that you have to remove yourself from the class and to report right to your
This happens?
counselor." What are they? Not the counselor. Who are they? The
You're like
guidance?
Yeah,
It's not guidance. What is it?
I forget what it is.
they
But
call
it's
it?
basically like your professor that's guiding
Guidance
you through,
counselor kind of person.
sort of.
It's
but
the
it's a
person that's
professor.
like person that's like guiding you through your college classes for your
this
career.
person did this to you
Yeah.
for writing about sex?
Yeah.
They asked about
Yeah,
sex?
Well,
don't know what he wrote.
I wrote essentially that, in a nutshell, that basically guys act stupid for sex because when girls come around us, we get get a boner, and the blood drains out of our brains and into our dicks, and then we're not thinking clearly. Whereas, like, when girls get horny, their vaginas get swollen and wet, but it's not the same type of change. And I was very
God.
scientific
It
in the
had
way I
nothing to
described
do
it.
with the actual.
Okay.
I was very
It's
scientific.
common, act like it's
Listen.
no big deal, but we know that this was a fucking bomb.
Well,
he dropped in
listen,
his
listen.
feature.
I was very scientific in the words I used. I
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
super fucking like I was using
wish you
like
had this paper. We read it on
stratified.
air.
I was
Oh,
like
man.
stratified squamous epithelium was used in the paper. That's the tissue your dick's made out of, right? So it was super scientific the way I wrote it, right?
It had nothing to do with fucking
took
Victorian era.
major fucking offense to it because she was like super like uptight, whatever. So now I got to go to this engineer guy.
They kicked you out of class. You lost your credit.
I had to no, better than that, baby. I get excused from class today and told basically to report to the principal for all not to the dean.
Yeah,
To the
yeah.
dean, and I was the dean and my counselor or whatever.
What did they say?
But every school has
Why
its
did I
own.
never hear the story?
Oh, you've heard it. You just can't remember a week ago, bro. So listen. So I fucking.
You're right.
I know. So I show
I
up.
don't remember this
I
part.
show up to the dean, and they're looking at me like, "Listen, we got a little problem here. This lady's saying that whatever." And I was like, "Listen, I don't know what the problem is. This was the assignment," and I showed them the assignment. And these guys are like egghead, like engineer dudes, are like doing like math all day. They care less about like tying their shoes or asking a girl out. They have no social skills, right? I'm like, "Listen, man." She asked us to write this assignment. I wrote it down. I show them the paper. They read the paper. It's like all in scientific notation and like
Yeah.
there was like some fucking, I don't know. I made it as super professional as I could be for the topic.
For having blood drain out of your head,
Yeah,
your boner.
yeah. These eggheads side with me.
They did.
They were like, "I'm sorry. I think you answered they're like objective. Like they don't care about like what I'm saying. They're just like they read the question.
Objectively, you answered the question.
Yes, they read the assignment and they read my paper and they're like, "He answered your question. I don't see what
Did you go back
the
to
problem
class?
is." Better. I got free credit for the class. Didn't have to go back because she was going to sue if I made it. It was uncomfortable to have me in the
Holy
class after
shit.
that. Yes, this was like the beginning of that. whole,
Oh man, I wish you.
so I got a
She
free.
didn't forget this. She thinks about this all the time.
Yeah, fuck you, professor, whoever the fuck you were. I got a free English 2 credit that semester. Didn't have to do shit.
So what does that mean? You got like a B or like what was?
I got like I think it was just like a pass, A, whatever. Because I asked about that. I was like, so do I get like an A? Or
Yeah.
I was like, most assholes would have been like, "God, I'm glad I'm
you,
not getting
get outta
kicked out
here."
of school." I was like, "So am I getting like an A, or like what the fuck's the deal?" And that happened in real life. The Candyaman's theory on male horniness was handed in a college paper.
Yeah.
circa 1999.
Oh god.
You must have said some
I
wrong
had to
shit,
go
though.
Oh, he
down
definitely did.
to the engineering.
Was she hot?
No, I had to go down to the dean of engineering and my little guidance
Thought maybe you were
guy,
hoping to
who was
poke her.
also an engineering nerd. They fucking read it. They're like, "Yeah, this guy, he sounds like he adequately answered the assignment. I don't understand the problem. Does not compute." And the next thing you know, they just worked out a little back end deal, and I got UMass Lowell was like, "Yeah,
Wow.
pass."
She's like, I don't want this fucking guy in my class.
This biker
Right.
showing up. I was wearing like leather pants, showing up on my Harley, like, "Yo, what's up, babe? Here's my paper." Anyway, look out, everyone. I'm going back to college.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be worse than back. It's
school.
gonna be
I
worse
wish we
than
could
Rodney
film it.
Dangerfield.
I wish we could film it. We should
We
do a
should.
reality series.
What do we need? One of those glasses with a camera and a mic or something?
I think you could just make it like a real like
Candyman
say
school.
It. Say it like, hey, I'm doing a reality.
I'm doing a reality show.
It's like a documentary.
I'm gonna be in class with yo, these guys-
UFOs.
These cats gonna be with me all year. They're just filming audio and video.
We're doing a documentary.
We'll
You
blur,
get waivers.
we'll blur everyone's face out.
Yeah, you get.
It's like if you want to be on, we will just sign this waiver. We won't
'Cause-
blur you out.
It would be. It's gonna be like a movie because like some of your views and values, although good, come out in a way that younger people are gonna be like, what?
The Coliseum, you little
what?
shit.
You back in school with these young guys is hilarious to me to begin with.
First
Oh,
of all,
man.
I think we're romanticizing it a little bit because in
You
real
know you're gonna
life,
find some little Indian kid to be friends with.
Oh, he's definitely going.
that was my first order of business the first time I went to college. I had like a team of them. But the thing is nowadays it's probably just gonna be me online, like reading some shit, and it's gonna
Yeah,
suck.
yeah.
Limited
Different now.
human ability. You know why? They want to no human interaction, no conflicts to resolve. That's why.
That's what we tied in.
Hey,
they will be on
I'm
the
just
it'll be
telling
on
you,
the message board.
Just telling you, in the fucking all my buddies that are police officers, they say that in the summertime when crime goes through the roof. Why? Because it's warm. People go outside.
Of course.
They're interacting more conflicts, more crime. In the winter, people are freezing fucking cold. They're staying home. They're not going nowhere. They're like, it's fucking freezing out. No interaction. Lower crime. Lower
Get your
conflict.
hoochies off, people.
Get you. Oh, you finish it out. I always do it.
Get your hoochies off. The hoochies. Hoochie.